Hello, people didn't. How's all doing? Today I just want to talk about something, get something off my chest, I suppose, in other words. And that's, when you retire at 65 and only post retires at 65 from a job. Right, fair enough. So I'm just talking about the TDs. Yeah, TDs, exactly. Senators too. Some of them are way over 65 and they're still sitting in Darwin and they couldn't be bothered to move. And they were over pension age. And, some of them used to be teachers, some of them have high paid pensions coming up. And the thing is, that the thing that really sickens me, and I really have said it a lot, when they retire, right, when they get to 65 or whatever age it is when they retire, don't worry about it. They're going to get home care, they're going to get all the best 24-hour home care, everything under the sun just handed to them. And somebody that works all their life, does hard work, let's take for example, somebody works in the guards, let's just say that, and he works, 40, 50 years nearly in the guards. He does huge community sort of work in local communities and, serves the community well. And he retires, he's 65, he gets his pension. He will probably get a home help or anything like that when he gets old. And, some, like Bertie O'Hearn, I bet you any money he's going to get everything under the sun. And I don't know why he's still pondering around Ireland. I still don't, like, he's popping up here, there and everywhere. And, people don't want to see him more than the cat in the moon. But they're going to get, VIP treatment. When they get old, they will have to go into nursing home to get all the private care they need and the state to pay for. Don't worry about it. And if Frank gets old, he won't have to pay a penny of his salary to anything because the state will just give him everything. He'll be getting 24-hour home care help. He'll be getting a chauffeur driving them around. All be the life from the O'Reillys. And then the only person who works themselves 24 hours a day, trying to make ends meet, trying to survive, trying to raise a family in this country, trying to buy a house, they suffer the most when they get old. They've been compounded. Like, they even talk about up at the pension age 65, up from 65. And, it's as simple as this. And, TDs don't have to worry about because they get their pension. They're exception. Straight away they can look for it any time. They don't need to be 65 to look for their pension because we all know how the government works, But yeah, somebody who works all their life, kills themselves working, they don't get damn all at the end of it. And, you often wonder, you'd be better off sitting in dollar. But no, it's no joke. All jokes aside, but seriously, like, Michael D. Higgins, I might as well be honest here, he's getting a big lump of a pension. Like, honest to God, he's getting the biggest lump of any pension anybody's getting in this state. He's going to get a teacher's pension. He used to be a teacher. He's going to get a TD's pension for when he used to be in Labour. And he's going to get a presidential pension. And that's a big lot of pension. Then his wife's going to get a pension too. And then his daughter gets paid because she's a member of the Shannon. They're not miserable. Let's be honest, they're not miserable. And, the thing is, and the thing that really sickens me, like, people that do, and it's just down, and I'm sure everybody would agree with me. If you work very hard, if you get up early in the morning, you do hard work, hard labour, you try and survive, you try and, be on the right side of the law, you try and pay your bills, you try to raise a family, you try to put your kids through school, you should be given more support than, these clowns coming out of Darwin with the big pensions and getting, everything for free. Like, there's not a word going to be said when some of them retire and they get, 24-hour home care assistance. And, some poor old woman that's living in the country for the last 90 years is told there's no resources. And it's just that. That's what really annoys me. Because somebody that's here longer than somebody that, a TD that's retired, say, at 67, let's just take that for example. He's going to get everything at the top of his hat. And, a woman that's here 90 years old, and lived all her life in Ireland, is not going to get any home care. This is the problem. This is what I have the biggest issue with. And it has, like, there is TDs, old TDs I know, they used to work beside Cavan, used to work beside different parts, and they get 24-hour home care assistance. And plus chauffeurs and plus, things taken off the electricity bill, they get all the nice buffs of the day. And then you go down the road and you see an old woman that's struggling to survive, struggling to pay her bills. And, you just wonder to yourself, what kind of a country do we live in? And, that's what I've been asked in the last few years. What kind of a country do we live in that we treat the politicians like, oh, God almighty? Like, honest to God. like some of them think that God Almighty, like Bertie Howard must think he's God Almighty just turning up again and being like on every talk show. Like, honest to God, you really have to ask questions and just like, and you won't get any answers, but you have to ask the questions. And that's what I'm asking. Like, what's the need? Like, I understand, you know, but they can well afford to go privatise and pay for somebody to facilitate them and care for them. But, you know, they want to live on the state when they get old, and even though they have their fortune made. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bit of a nuisance. I just wanted to get off my chest, I suppose. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. Bye.